Hey guys, welcome back to the Book Haven with Rachel and Raven. I'm Raven, and this is Rachel.
Rachel.
We're so glad you're here today. We are going to have a fun episode where we chat all things of what we read in January, and it'll be a fun episode because we really don't have a script, and it's just going to be us talking to one another about books. What could be more exciting?
Yeah.
So, to get us started, Rachel, what is our bookish question for today?
Okay, the bookish question today, and I'm not even sure how to word it, but do you listen to an audiobook and follow along in the book? Or
Yes.
is it one or the other?
Yes, I do the audiobook a lot of times, and I follow along in the book. And the reason is because I'm probably a little ADHD and my brain, or maybe I'm just a mom, and I have a million things in my brain. And so having the audiobook for me helps me stay focused on what I'm reading.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, especially if it's a book with like a lot of names or it takes place in a different country, I just like, I don't know, having words pronounced properly to me. And, but also being able to see them on the page. So,
Yeah. So
yeah.
I cannot do this. This is not a skill I have. I don't know if it has something to do with my dyslexia. I don't know. I'd love to know. So if other people that are dyslexic have this issue as well, but I cannot follow along when somebody is reading. It's either I do the audiobook or I read it myself. I have a hard time. I think my eyes jump around on the page a lot. And so it's really, really hard to stay with the person reading with my eyeballs. So it's more distracting for me. So I'm like, it's one or the other. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I just thought that was interesting. You sent me a reel and we got talking about it, and I was like, I wonder if I'm the only one that doesn't do that, or
I don't think you're the only one for sure. I mean, I don't know. I think my eyes jump around a lot on the page too, even with reading the audiobooks. But I think it's, I don't know. I'm just trying to train myself, and it's gotten better. But yeah.
Well, and I could train myself to do it. I just don't take the time. So
listen, we got other things, and we have lots of books to read. So
lots of books, not a lot of time. So today we're going to recap all the books that we read in January. But I wanted to start off with our Great Expectations experience galore in December. So what were your final thoughts on that?
My final thoughts were, I'm glad that I read Great Expectations.
Yes.
Because it makes me feel more smarter.
Oh, yes.
To read a new classic and to read Dickens. However, Dickens is not my favorite author. But okay, so the thing that we talked about this. The thing that I do like about Dickens is that his writing, while the stories are different, it's a very, what the rhythm of it's going to be.
Yeah.
And I liked that. I like that, that part. I just don't like, I don't know. I feel like he drags some things out.
Yeah. Yeah.
That, he could have condensed a little bit. But
I do think that's the difference between a lot of writers nowadays. I mean, you still have people putting out really big books now, but, we talked about how he was putting it out for a magazine every week. And so I think a lot of his writing is stretched out for that reason. But I just love how he ties everything together at the end. And you can always count on him for some characters to be redeemed. I just hate it when you get to the end. And I think that that's kind of a common theme in classics. A lot of times you get to the end and you were kind of like, well, what was the point of all of this? Like,
yeah.
Not that I need a happy ending. I just need for it to have been, for there to have been a point, I guess. So,
yeah. I like the challenge. I like the challenge. I like that you challenge me to read a new one every year.
Yes.
So that's exciting.
Well, and it segues into, so we decided to do a Jane Austen for February because it's the love month. So we're going to do Sense and Sensibility. This is my,
Yay!
I tried to find like a really cute, I don't know, copy. Not that this one is ugly, but it's very modern looking. But we're going to do that. And that actually starts like this week.
Yes, and also let me just plug this in here really quick because it's going to come out, I think, the middle of February.
Okay.
Don't wait that long to join us on this reading, but there is a new Puffin edition, and it's very beautiful, of Sense and Sensibility. The only copy that I have is in there's like four novels in it, and it's like that thick. But I really want that new pretty one. It's going to be released middle of February.
Yeah.
So maybe for Valentine's Day.
The good thing about these classes, I got this one for $5 at the bookstore. Like, you can get it very reasonable. There's also, because it's a classic, a lot of times you can get them from, from the library. Even Audible, I think, has some versions that are free. So you can definitely
join
get hold
us
of this. Yes. And we'll do the Instagram lives on Friday again.
Yay!
Yes. And we need people to join us to ask us questions and make it not just where we're talking to each other. So
yes. Yeah. So please join us. It'll be fun.
It'll be so much fun. Okay. So do you want to tell us what you read in January?
Okay. So let me tell you what I read. Obviously, ta-da!
Good old
first
Jane.
edition that I got for Christmas. Smells like heaven. Yes, and I loved it. I loved it again. How about
that? How many times was that?
This is my 7th time through. So I have a few copies. And look, you guys, I didn't share this. Look, Frances Goodwin.
Yeah,
I have your book.
But it's mine now.
But it's mine. Okay, and then I read these 2. What are they? Novellas? Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
Okay, they're really, really short, and they're just sweet little. I don't even really know how you would describe them, but this one right here hit me like personally this month, and I wasn't expecting it. So I love it when a book doesn't know, well, maybe the book does know what's going on in your life, and then it just presents itself to you. So I had seen these 2 floating around on Instagram, and I was just like, what in the world? So I got them, and they were very sweet, very short. And apparently I'm reading a lot of short books this month, besides Jane. And then I read this one.
Yeah. Jane is worthy of its own,
Yes. She gets her own. Whatever. Yeah. So I read Old Man and the Sea. And at first I was like, what is this book about? An old man in the middle of the sea fishing. Okay. But by the end I understood. I understood what the message of the book is. But see, it's short.
Yeah.
And I really appreciated the story. And I will read it again at some point. But yeah, I liked that one. I gave it 5 stars. I think everything I give 5 stars this month. We also finished Harry Potter this month at the beginning of the month. And then 2 audiobooks that I read, which is Raising Emotionally Strong Boys. That one was really good. And then the other one, The Office BFFs. Okay. On this one, I did it on audio. You must do the audio. It's so funny. It's so great. If you need a laugh, go read that book. I loved that book. Don't go read it. Go listen to it.
Yeah.
Just trust me on that one. Okay. And then one more.
Okay.
It's another really short one. And I thought this one was going to be longer. I don't know why, but anyways, it's of Mice and Men,
Oh, I haven't done
and
that one.
I've never read it. But last night I couldn't sleep, and so I got up and I read the first chapter, and I think it's going to be good.
Okay.
So,
So you haven't
um,
quite finished it.
no, but
Okay.
I will probably finish this one today.
Okay.
I will probably finish it today because there's like notes in the back. So this is not very long at all.
Oh, okay.
So I will probably finish that. But I think that's everything.
Wow. You did that super fast.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will start off that over the Christmas break timeline, whatever, I needed to catch up on some school reading. So I listened to the Smart Pass version of Macbeth, which I highly, highly recommend for if your kids are reading Shakespeare. I think they have a couple of classics too, but they will explain to you what's actually being said, the history kind of behind it, all of that stuff. But I have the physical copy of the No Fear edition of Macbeth. And you know how when we were in school, you could do like cliff notes and all that kind of stuff. This is kind of like that, except for the fact that it has so on one side you have Shakespeare, the actual language of Shakespeare, and then you have it written in a more modern English version. So you can kind of follow it along better. So when we need to use it in class and stuff, we're looking at that one. So I just wanted to say that in case you're home, even if your kids are in school and you
Yeah.
need to tackle these are great resources. And there is no shame in like you're going to get more out of it. And I know I think I might have talked on the podcast before about why I fell in love with A Tale of Two Cities in high school. And it was because I had an amazing English teacher who took the time to really break down each section we were reading and explain it. And then you get so much more out of it. And you really do fall in love with the story more when you understand what's actually being said.
Yeah.
Right? So then I got the Deconstruction of Christianity, which is Elisa Childers and Tim Barnett. And we've already talked about on here about how much we love Elisa Childers. But I pre-ordered this one, and so I got the audio version. So I actually listened to the audio. This just showed up. This just came out yesterday. So, but I highly recommend this book for. You wouldn't hand this book to someone who's struggling with their faith. This book is for somebody who's trying to walk this road with somebody who's struggling with their faith, whether that's a spouse, a child, a parent, a friend, or whatever. It really kind of helps. It gives you encouragement, but also kind of helps not teach you, but just help guide you in how you could be supporting to them without feeling like you're judging or anything like that. So, and then to take a whole nosedive to the left, because you know I have to read a whole bunch of different things every month. I finished. I finished because I started in December. A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking. Okay, and I just hit myself in the face with that. This is a young adult, middle grade ish, but I would say young adult because there's violence and stuff in it. But it's funny. It's about a girl who's a wizard, but the only magic she can do pertains to baking. So she can tell bread not to burn or bring a gingerbread man to life. But she kind of gets swept up in this plot of somebody's trying to kill her. Stuff is happening in the kingdom. And so it's kind of like a hero's arc. But I think it was so funny. Like, it just was. She has a sourdough starter that comes to life, and he ends up, playing a part in the thing too. It's just funny and silly. So I really enjoyed that. How long it took me to read doesn't really make it seem like I enjoyed it, but December is a crazy time to try to read. Plus, we were reading Great Expectations and all that stuff. So that's my excuse for why it took so long, because it really is a funny book.
So I was going to plug in here that we have a friend who is the sourdough queen.
Yes.
And You should read this book. You know who you are.
I thought about sending it to her, but Rachel, you need to pick this up. Not me, Rachel. Rachel Eaton. You need to pick this book up. But it's funny. Like, I got a sourdough starter. She has freeze dried sourdough starter that she can mail to you. So I'm trying to get it going. I have named mine Bob because in the book, the girl's sourdough starter is Bob. And Bob has already gone in the fridge because I don't have time for Bob right now.
Listen, I do have to tell you, you have to make these easy crackers. I made them yesterday. They were so good. And I'm going to make cheese ones today. That sounded weird. But
yeah,
I will send you the recipe. Anyways, go ahead.
Well, we'll have to maybe link it in the description too, in case anybody else is interested in cheese, whatever Annette is making today. But I did make pancakes and they were great and fantastic. But as with everything, this is totally a side note, sourdough, it's like life happens and then sourdough is the first thing I cannot keep up with. So the good thing about sourdough is you just put the lid on it and put it in the fridge and like I'll come back to you when I have my life put together. So maybe later this week or next week, Bob will come out and I'll try to do some stuff with him. But
poor Bob.
Bob is in the fridge. Sorry, Rachel. I'm going to try not to. How many? I don't even know. It's shameful how many starters Rachel has given me over time. You gave me a starter that I have killed. Like, I am a habitual sourdough starter killer.
Well, that starter came from Rachel too, so
yeah, I've tried a lot of times to be, so there is no shame or judgment over here. I am not the ideal sourdough starter baker. If you want that, you need to follow Rachel Eaton. We'll link her Instagram in the description. But yes, she's inspirational. And I wish I could be like that. But I would also say that baking is not a relaxing thing for me either. Like, that's not something that I want to go do as like an outlet.
You just need to teach Vivian to bake sourdough. And like I feel like she could take off with it.
She is a baker. So yes, I do need to do that. But I think everyone in my family is a little put off by the sourdough because it is alive and it smells weird. And my husband loves to eat it, but it's like one of those things where I don't want to know where it came from kind of thing. It's funny. So he's like, I'll eat the bread, but I don't want to smell that thing or look at it because it's weird. But anyway, so that's what's going on in my life. Also,
sorry, side note,
sidetrack. But and then the last one I read was called Skyward, and I don't have it because I listened to the audio. And it's by Brandon Sanderson, who is a really big science fiction fantasy writer. His books are not small, but this is a young adult series that he did. So if you're interested in getting into the Sanderson world, I really, really liked this first one. And I went ahead and got the second book in the series. I haven't gotten very far, but it's not because it's not good. So I highly recommend that one. It was very intriguing. My daughter started it and couldn't really get into it, but I told her, I was like, I think if you get past a certain point, you could get more into it. Because with all fantasy, sci-fi stuff, there's a little world building. Sometimes there's a lot of world building, but I felt like he didn't take a long time to do that. So even if fantasy or sci-fi isn't your genre, this is a good series. I'm not talking about to you, Annette, just like anybody else. I know that I can never sway you over to this side, but if you're on the fence about whether or not, or you kind of like that sort of thing, this is a very fun, it's a really easy read. It doesn't require, sometimes there's like too much brain power. I have a friend that's reading Dune, and we were talking about it, and I was like, don't get bogged down with all of the names of the people and the places and whatever, because it's too much. So sometimes you can't really do that. But I felt like this was there wasn't a lot of extra information that I was trying to keep up with. to figure out what was needed and what wasn't needed. So
Yeah, those books are not small. Dune, I've looked at those.
yes. I read the first, we've talked about this because the new movie is coming out this month, or next month, February. But the we've talked about this. I really like Dune, but I know it's like a hot topic of I've met people that have just like loathed it, didn't like it at all. So it's kind of
I don't even know. I know nothing about it, of course, but
yes, I know. It's a I don't know if I lump too many things in sci-fi fantasy. I wonder if it's more sci-fi. But it's just about these people. It's kind of like, for lack
it's
of a
just
better
about these
introduction,
people.
well, kind of like Star Wars in the sense of like there's other planets, there's a whole galaxy thing going on, power struggles stuff. But in the end, it's about a mother and a son and their relationship and with all of these other things going on. But that's what I took from it. And he's growing up and starts to have his own life, and I just really related to that. So that, I think that's why it was the right book at the right time. It just really spoke to me. I don't know if I had read it at different seasons, if I would have felt the same about it. But when I was reading it, I have my 17-year-old son. And it's a different time of life, man, where we're getting ready to launch him off
Weird.
into his own life. Yes. And so
Weird.
so in the book, I was watching them kind of her wrestling through letting him be a man, kind of thing. So anyways, I didn't read that book this month. We just kind of got off on a tangent.
Oh yeah, we got sidetracked again.
Squirrel. But the second movie is coming out. So they took the one book and broke it into 2 movies. And so the second part of the first book's coming out. But anyways. Okay, so we thought it would be fun to talk about something that we are liking this month. So I'll go first since I'm already talking. Okay. My favorite thing, or something new, or whatever we're going to call it, is my Kindle. So we had Simile on the podcast and she talked about sleep and stuff. And so I was thinking, I really want to make a go of taking like the last hour before bed and not being on my phone, because I am definitely addicted to listening to my audiobook and playing either Candy Crush or Solitaire or something like that. I know, the shame. I'm not shaming anyone else. Let me just say that. But
just feeling convicted.
But I will say it's annoying because it has helped me sleep better. So
yeah,
there's that. But I have been using the Kindle Paperwhite. I don't know what will be on here because you always have an ad at the beginning. But there's no like backlight. So it's like reading a book, but you don't have the blue light situation going on. So I've been doing that because most of the time, by the time I'm getting in bed, my husband's already asleep. He gets up really early. And so I don't want to be trying to do a book light or the lamp or anything like that. So I've been using this. I will say that this is my daughter's hand-me-down.
She's so cute. It's so cute.
She got a new one because she said this one was on the fritz. I haven't had any issues with it, interestingly enough. But
interesting how that happens.
Yes, it is. But it was like a Christmas present, so it's fine. But that's really all that she reads on is her Kindle. So she uses it, and I would recommend doing the Paperwhite. The other one is like an iPad. We've had those like way back in the day, and it's the same thing as looking at your phone. So there's just no point. If that's why you're trying not to do it. So I really like this one. It's really small. I put it in my purse too. Like it's not that big of a deal. To like add it in there. Like that's a normal size paperback. Like it's smaller than that. So I throw it in my bag and go, or I keep it by my bed and read it. And that's what I've been doing. And yes, I am sad to report, quite honestly, that it does help me sleep to not be on my phone an hour before bed. I was really hoping there wasn't going to be any difference. But there was. So
bummer.
I know. Now I've got to find other times to listen to my audiobooks. But
yeah.
Anyways. Okay. So what have you been liking?
Okay, so one thing, if you're local to the Katy area, I'm going to give a plug for Common Grounds. It's a new coffee shop in the old part of Katy.
Oh, we'll
You
have to
must go there.
go.
Yes, it's very small, but they also have outdoor seating. They do a lot of events there, like cookie decorating, like
Oh,
the
fun.
cute cookie decorating stuff.
Oh,
It's so cute. They do that a lot. Um, and their coffee is really good. So, anyways, if you're local, go support them. Um, and then also, I was gonna say we watched a good movie the other night, Boys in the Boat. Have you seen it?
oh, I know what you're talking. I do know what you're talking about. We actually, my mom wanted to go see it when she was here around Christmas time, and we couldn't find it at the theater.
Oh,
I know.
I'm listen, it was so good. Like
Okay.
I read the book, so obviously that's why I watched the movie. But I read the book years
I'm
ago.
honestly surprised that you're plugging a movie.
I know. It goes against my core beliefs, but anyways, no, it was so good. It was so good. It was so clean and without being like how this is going to sound weird, but how some movies are like clean, so clean that they're corny.
Yeah,
This was
yeah,
not. Like this was, I feel like, historically accurate to the book from what I can remember because it's been years. Um and it was just beautifully presented on screen, and I thought it was so good. And I was unsure about it because
yeah,
you just never know like what Hollywood's going to do with that kind of stuff.
yeah.
And it was so good. So if you haven't seen it, you should watch it. It's a story of just endurance and perseverance and hard work. And yeah, we finished it, and my husband was like, I could watch that again. Like
Wow.
that was really good. I know. So I huge plug for that movie,
Okay.
and we need more. We need more movies like that.
Good.
My other favorite things, two more things. I have lots of favorite things this month, apparently. It's been a great month. It's been a long month, but it's been great. Okay. This little book, what do you call it? A book sleeve
Yeah.
pouch thing,
Yeah.
so that you can take a book and you put it in here. Oh, I'm also reading this book right now. And it doesn't get tore up in your bag or in
Yeah.
your purse or whatever. And has this little button
Clip. Yeah.
here. Yes. Okay. Well, I can't do that one handed. And then it has a sleeve right here, like if you want to put pens or I
Yeah.
don't know. If you just want to carry this and throw your phone in there, I don't know. Um, but I love it. It's so pretty. It's
Yes.
from, you're going to have to remind me the name of the shop again because I always forget. I can see it in
Um,
my brain.
I know. I think it's
Uh,
busy mom reads too.
Shop Busy Moms
Yeah.
Read Too.
Yeah.
Um, so huge plug for her. She's super sweet and I love her account. And then I also got these cute stickers. Hopefully you can see those.
Yes.
Oh, that's upside down. Aren't they so cute? And I can't figure out what I want to put them on.
That's
Oh,
upside down.
that's up this. um,
I think that one's my favorite.
I love this one.
Yeah. So, funny story to go along with this is that you posted your reel of like opening the stuff that you had ordered from her. And then I saw it and texted you and was like, oh my word, we ordered the same sticker packet without even talking. Like, we do that so much. This is why we end up with so many of the same thing because it's not planned.
Shirts,
It's just well,
sweatshirts.
the shirts do get purchased together, but it's more of like, I know you'll like this, so I'll get you one. But
Yeah,
I just always think it's funny when we accidentally buy the same things and don't talk about it. But
yeah,
no, those stickers are adorable, and
they're
she
so
has some
cute.
cute tote bags, and she has a great shop. So also, we will link her down below. And she
Yes,
has a fun Instagram account with good recommendations, book recommendations.
she makes fun reels too. I like her
Yes.
reels.
Yes.
So
So,
fun,
um,
fun.
yes. I'm trying to figure out if I have anything else that I like, but I'm just surviving January. So
I know.
I feel like it's day 450 of January. I'm ready to move on.
yes,
Yeah.
I feel you. So I feel
Yeah.
like, what did I post something the other day about? It's the 45th of January or something
Yes.
like that.
Why does January always feel like it's so long? I always feel like that joke comes back around of like, oh,
Of
it's just
course.
too long. And I'm in Louisiana, so we're going full blast into Mardi Gras now. Once it gets close to February, it's full blown. So that's what happens here in the
Bless you.
season. So anyways, okay. Well, thanks for listening and catching up with us on all of the things that we have been reading this month. And we plan to do a wrap up what we've been reading for the month at the end of every month from
Yeah,
now
I think
on.
that'll be fun.
Yeah. So we try to have more, what do you call that? Like, intentional episodes, like actually planned out episodes. But then
Yeah.
we thought it would just be fun to kind of talk about a bunch of randomness at the end of the month, because why not?
Yeah. We're just going to put ourselves out there once a month and be chatty.
There you go. Or allow ourselves to be judged for all of the books that we're reading. But I
That's true.
digress.
That too.
Anyways, thanks for coming along and being here. We're still working out the kinks of the visual, adding that to the podcast, but just keep sticking with us. Make sure you leave a good well, you don't have to leave a good review, but leave a comment
No,
and like the
they
video
do have to leave a good review.
to try to help the algorithm,
Only
whatever.
positive vibes here. Only positive vibes, people.
Oh, that's cringe. Okay. Yes. But thanks for hanging out. Yay for reading.
Yay for reading!
Bye.